Hey, good evening from my end. Really sleepy, but really sore from the killer core workout I did earlier for you all. And so I thought this would be nice to help kind of touch some of those muscles that we worked so hard on. And yeah, just some nice yin. These poses some of them might be a little more on the challenging side just because they can be kind of tight on a lot of people. So it might be nice if you have a blanket or a small block or a bolster, anything soft, cushiony that you can use to support yourself with. Remember, yin is passively held poses. No trying, permission to just be, and we'll get started. I'm using, since I'm using my phone to record this, which means we only have about 30 minutes. I'm using my computer, and there's a website called onlinemeditationtimer.com. It'll ding when you start. You can choose the length of time, and then it rings 3 times at the end. So convenience, I can't use my phone timer, the meditation app. Anyways, just so you know, it's there for you, onlinemeditationtimer.com. Check it out. So we'll begin in butterfly pose, or also known as bound angle. So soles of the feet will come together. Take a sip of your tea if you need. All right, so you're on your sitting bones. You're going to walk them behind you a bit. Help tip the hips forwards a bit. And if your knees are off or hanging up high, you're welcome to slide something underneath it for support. Just make sure it's not too much of a pull and the hip flexors can relax. Give yourself a nice long sort of catwalk in the spine so you can find length. And I'll hit the timer and we'll begin. So you let the head hang heavily or support it with a blanket, a cushion. Start at the edge of the pose and slowly work your way in. Begin to deepen your breathing. Slow motion, use your hands to help lift the spine up. Sit at the top for a moment, eyes closed, feel the release. And take the hands to the knees, draw the knees together, wrap the arms around the legs, bow the head, hug the thighs in towards one another for a few breaths. And we'll lift the head, release the legs. So next pose will be half saddle. And I'm going to turn sideways for this one. You'll take the legs out forwards in front of you. And we'll start with left side since it's closest to you. You're going to lean over to the right, bend the left leg back. And it's really nice if you take your hand like a little claw, grab the back of your calf and roll it out a bit. That's going to create some space behind the knee joint to bend. Some people will stress about having your left thigh in line with the right. I personally think listen to your alignment on that one. Bones are shaped in certain ways, and everybody's quite different with what their abilities are in that. And so I personally like out to an angle a bit. That way I feel like I can really level off in my pelvis. I don't have compression in the front of my hip at all, and it feels quite lovely. So you're welcome to adjust and find what works best for you. If you really feel like you're tipping over to the right, you can slide a block or a cushion underneath the right sitting bone, so not over the left but the right, and so that way if you're crooked it'll help level you out. All right, so you can put a bolster behind you and go down, or anyways, little by little you're going to make your way backwards. This might be where you stay, totally okay. I like to scoop the tailbone forwards quite a lot and then slowly work my way down. So remember, if going down is way too much, don't do it. And so I'm pretty open in the quads and the hips, so I like to come down and even flatten my right foot. That helps tip the hips back. Wherever you are, soften. And remember to let your body unravel you as it's ready. So that's where you separate intuition of the mind and kind of ego of being human. We want to do more and more, and that might not be where you are in this moment. So if you have to stay on the hands or on the forearms, there's no problem with that. It might just take a few breaths to go a little deeper. That's part of yin. Just accept where you are. little by little, going slowly, slowly, you'll begin to make your way up out of the pose. You'll lean over to the side, release the left leg. And I always like to give that knee a little love, so circles around the knee. And even a little pointing and flexing in the left foot. So you can't see it, but I'm pointing, flexing the foot. All right, let's take it over to the other side. So lean over to your left, bend your right leg back behind you, take your little lobster claw, hold your calf, roll it out, and then try to find level hips. So if you're tipping off to the left quite a lot, support something under the left bum cheek. And you'll begin to lean it back. And in the process of leaning back, I like to lift up, tuck my pelvis, and then set it down. You might notice that alone increases the stretch quite a bit. So just something to be mindful of. And you might stay up on the hands, perhaps the forearms. Maybe you go down on a bolster. You have your options. Just try to find a shape you can settle into. And so remember, because I'm quite a bit open in the quads, and for those of you that are as well, you can try this out, of course. You'll flatten the left foot, and you'll notice how that tips the hips back even more. And as I settle into this gradually over time, I'll even let my left knee fall out to the left. Try to stay with the breath. And with each breath out, let go of something. Something you no longer need, whether that's tension in your body, a reoccurring thought. Hi. No rush. But you're going to make your way out of the pose. And you'll release the right leg. And like you did before, you can straighten the leg out, do little circles around the right knee. You guys know the rule. If it sits, you don't move. All right. And after you give your knees a little bit of a break, you can meet me on your back. And you'll take your time to get onto your back. And you'll hug your knees into your chest. So draw the knees into the body. Wrap the arms around your legs. Big bear hug. Squeeze them in, and you can gently rock side to side. And you'll pause at the center in stillness. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, curl your forehead towards your knees, knees towards your forehead. So you're curling into a tight, tiny little ball. And lower the head and shoulders back down. Flatten your feet on your mat so they're hip width apart. And you'll pick the hips up a little bit, scooch them over to the right, and set them down. Now straighten the left leg long along the mat and draw the right knee in towards your chest. Point the left toes towards the front of the mat, so a bit of activation in the leg, and continue to hug the right knee in and towards the right shoulder. So it's as if you're stretching the hips in a bit of a diagonal. And relax the left foot. Take a deep inhale. All right, sorry, Nibbler. As you exhale, draw your right knee over to the left. We're going for a twist. I'm sorry. All right, so right knee is going over to the left for a nice twist. Right arm, take it out to a T, palm up. So if your right knee doesn't find the floor all the way, you can support the shin with a block, bolster, blanket, cushion. Shit. I spilled my tea just like I knew I would. Okay, hang on. Hold the twist. I'm putting you on a timer. So then you have to think, would I have spilled the tea if I didn't already say I was going to? That's the Matrix stuff right there. Alright, I'm gonna meet you in the twist. Pardon my mess. That's life. Sometimes it be like that. On an exhale, release back to center. Flatten your feet, recenter your hips. Tuck the tailbone forward, let the knees rest against one another for a moment. And you'll windshield wipe your knees side to side a handful of times. And let's take the knees back to chest, hug and squeeze, gentle rock. Pause at the center, full breath in. Exhale, curl, forehead to knees. Head and shoulders coming down, flatten the feet on the mat. And same thing, second side, scoot the hips over to the left. Extend the right leg long, point the toes forwards, hug the left knee in, and draw it out to the left shoulder some. And you'll take a full breath in. As you exhale, use your right hand to guide your left knee over to the right for a twist in this direction. Let me come back here, hit the button. Okay, so your left knee is going over to the right, your left arm is out to a T, palm up. And so try to get your left knee all the way down. If your left shoulder pops up, that's okay. You're supported here because you're on the ground. Some people like to say, look at the left hand. My neck is unhappy with that. So I actually let it fall more towards the right shoulder. But listen to your neck, see what you like. Try to stay with full breaths here. Take your time to unwind. Flatten feet, recenter hips. Point the toes in, let the knees rest against one another. Close down the eyes. And one more time, windshield wiper the knees side to side. Back to center, knees to chest, arms around legs, gentle rock. Back to center. Curl on an exhale, forehead to knee. Head, shoulders down. Take your hands to the outsides of the feet. Open the soles of the feet towards the sky. Gentle rock, side to side. Happy baby pose with some gentle movement. Eventually, you make your way into stillness. Allow the shoulders to melt towards the floor. And if finding your feet's a little challenging, you can always find backs of the ankles, calves, knees. And slowly, feet come back together, knees back together. Hug. Extend the legs long along the mat. Reach the arms up over your head. Give yourself a full body stretch from fingertips to toes. And we'll take a Shavasana. So maybe this variation, instead of arms by your sides, you see what they feel like up over your head, palms up. Still the shoulders tuck in so the shoulders are away from the ears. Feet relaxed, open to the sides. Eyes closed down. Check in with your body. Notice how it feels now after class. If any transformation has occurred within. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd wish. Treat yourself to just being. Be well.